Proxy Table Gaming, PTG. I am Hyper G. He is Lucky Sixes.
Yo 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 yo.
Yo-yo. I'm never any good at yo-yo. I know you're supposed to get better at that if you practice, but I'm sure it didn't work for me.
Yo-yo like your YOLO in.
Okay.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Okay. Well, if I was, I'm only aware that I'm only going to live once. So I was going to say if I was aware that I was only going to live once, then I wouldn't be spending my time yo-yoing. But anywho, either way, I don't think I'll ever use a yo-yo ever again.
Ever again. Not after
it's
the last
irrelevant.
time. But we won't go into that. We're here for another bat rep. And
yes.
Yeah, and we continue our Art of War series. And back to me, the way I like it.
Of course.
Up against ogres, and ogres in the form of one of the Bristol Ninjas' very own.
Yes, probably as close to an original ninja as you get.
I think so. Yeah, it wasn't Don in his ninja outfit this time, but is a big ninja. Ross Stevenson. And if you've seen the battle report last time, you know my list. It's 2 heralds, 3 lots of chosen knights, some warriors, and some chaff. The rest comes nice and easy. Ross, however, or Kolgoth Mountain Eater, as some will know him.
Yeah, some will know him as that. Others will know him as a slightly amended name. But we're not going to join that bandwagon. So we'll let it go. We'll let it go.
He is donning a Pyro Master because since the changes, that's really helped out ogres quite a bit. Magical Heirloom along with that. The new Liger's Tongue, so might come into effect here because of the offensive skill of some of my models and some of his as well, with some magic support, so that'd be interesting. And Gut Roarer,
is an extra channel, I think, or it's changed a bit lately. It's been a while since I've taken ogres. Give me 1 second. I'll tell you what Gut Roarer is. It is an extra channel. I was right.
Nice.
+1 resilience and fear.
Yes, so a decent one.
Yeah.
He's got a Great Khan as his general, which is cool. Death Cheater, so a bit of fortitude. Eldritch Inscription, so reroll in to wound. Sorry.
Yeah.
Aurochs Charm, which is minus agility.
I think that's he can only take 1 wound at a time.
Okay.
Mountain hide, so it halves multiple wounds.
Sound. And Cult Leader as well.
That extends his discipline range.
Yeah,
to 18 inches,
so a big
bubble. That's actually Kolgoth, isn't it? That's the Khan.
That would be him.
Has to be Kolgoth.
Yeah. The Khan BSB has Yeti Furs, Heart Ripper, and Troll Eater. So again, some more fortitude there.
Yeah, and the Yeti Furs goes alongside the Frost Mammoth he's got later on because it will reduce agility in combo.
Of course, it's that one. As you said, you got a Frost Mammoth over there again with an Ogre Crossbow. To continue the shooting, he's got 2 lots of Bombardiers and a Merkvet list. The Merkvets don't have anything, do they?
No, they don't have pistols.
They don't have pistols, but the Khan does. But yeah, the Bombardiers, which is interesting. Strength 4 AP2 is actually a decent against an elite list like me, so I was a bit scared of them going into it. 2 Saber-Tooth Kitties for some chaff goodness. The Merkvets, who are Lethal Strike and Iron Fist, and again with my armor, that's pretty brutal, or can be. 8 Bruisers, AP3, again sensing a theme. And a big lot of tribesmen, presumably, when you look at the list for the shaman. I guess the Bombardier and Frost Mammoth are the choice things, but otherwise, it's a pretty beefy ogre list.
It's a bit of everything, really, isn't it?
Yeah. In terms of the objective, we played Cancel Culture, which is basically kill your characters. So you nominate 3 characters in your list. And I mean, he's only got 3. I've only got 2. That actually puts me at a -1 advantage. I knew that going into this tournament. I decided not to change my list to accordingly. So I knew I was going to be down on this, and it was going to be quite a tough objective to get. But it's basically if I can keep my heralds alive and kill 2 of his characters, then hopefully we might be in the shot. But maybe get his mage or something to get a draw was what I was thinking.
Yeah, makes sense.
This is just showing how my herald's set up. So we had the one on the right is the general, because the one on the left has thaumaturgy, and that's too dangerous for my general.
For your miscast.
Yeah. But I went with Abiding Spirit both because of the Bombardiers, really, showing them a lot of respect there. Brand of the Dragon on my winged, Exalted Herald, and Sorcerer Immortal, because it's too darn good on my general.
Yeah, it really is good.
Hellfire and Grave Calls seemed good enough in this matchup, and then I went with Wrath of God and Smite the Unbeliever. I'd used Wrath in the last battle, so I quite liked it, and wanted to see if it'd be useful here at all as well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this is the deployment, and
I love. I mean, obviously it's tankers models, but I just love the line. It's just a line.
Yeah,
a line of warriors
blurs into one, and it's great. So I dropped for first. So I put Chosen Knights, Flayers, Chosen Knights, Herald, Dogs in the Woods, Herald, Warriors, Flayers, Chosen Knights from left to right.
Nice.
So basically had flanks covered in terms of things. My aim was just to arch around as much as possible in that first one. And with that hill, I thought that he's going to be either behind it or not using it. So I should have be able to get my flayers there maybe, or something there for chaff purposes.
Yeah, makes sense.
This is Kolgoth himself.
Indeed.
Mr. Ross.
He looks like he's honing in his laser beam.
He is. He's seen something I haven't.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely has.
And in terms of his list, he's got his Merc Vets, but in front of the Frost Mammoth, and the General is in there, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, because there were 6 of them.
Yeah.
It looks like he's got 2 standards, so he might have his BSB in
there. Yeah, I think his BSB's in there, and his General is with the Bruisers, who are in the middle. The Tribesmen on the right, with the 2 Bombardiers there. He's got a kitty behind the Merc Vets and a kitty behind the outermost Bombardiers as well. So he's all in that nice bubble of 18 inches, which is very nice.
Yeah, I find with the Sabertooths they are very easy to be non-chaff because they just get Magic Missile turn 1. So you actually can't just lay them out in your line.
Yeah, and he's put his kitties behind and out of sight as much as possible. So I guess he agrees.
Indeed.
This is, as I said, I dropped for first, and this is what happened. He immediately.
Oh no!
Yeah,
he regretted his life decisions.
He was a bit gutted that my players could get out of line of sight on that side.
Okay.
And I was just happy I could get into a deployment zone. And I was like, oh, this is cool. So I went there.
Wow. Okay.
I also on the other side went up as much as I could with the players to chaff /
Yeah, I mean, to be fair to Ross, there's not. If you're going first, there's not a lot anyone can do to stop that, right? I mean, other than maybe like pointing outwards.
Yeah, that was all it was as well. It's just because the players got into the deployment zone. They got like a 26, so it's
exactly
very possible.
It's okay, Ross. It's okay.
Yeah, don't worry. But yeah, so I'm basically chaffing the Bombardiers so that I can get at least some cover or some sort on the right hand side as well.
Yeah, that's nice.
Over here, I get a Wrath of God and Hellfire. So I Hellfire one of the Bombardiers off to do 3 wounds, which is, I'll take it.
Oh, brilliant.
And then get a Wrath of God off as well. So hopefully that can do some wounds.
Yeah, nice.
Over on his turn, and he basically stays where he is with the Bombardiers, so he can just shoot and do some stuff. He moves his Shaman into his Tribesman, seeing that I was going for the Bombardiers, and that's probably a safer place for him. Chaffs my Flayers, which is interesting, and moves over the Mammoth and Merc Vets to basically face that side and the coming things. Basically, I thought so that I couldn't get on the hill without point of thought, I guess.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough.
Over here, his Ogre crossbows on the Mammoth do 4 wounds.
Nice.
I was like, wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
From that point of view. And then he finished it off with the other pistol. I was like, well,
There you go.
that is a way to
that's efficient.
waste your chaff. Yeah, right there. Well, so well done, Ross. He dealt with that very well. Wrath of the Dog doesn't come down either. And he shoots over here. I think he had to shoot both into them very weirdly.
I would have thought so. Yeah.
A bit of to and fro in on that point of view, and he came up to chaff over here, which is
okay. Slows them down.
Yeah. So I go into the chaff on the right. I move up so that I'm just on the hill, on the left hand side, so that I can see stuff, and we're as far away as possible, basically.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I just move up so that I'm not in line of sight of the Merc Vets, and keen to press a little bit and push the buttons. Not like ultra aggressive, but just to signal intent, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
I kill the kitty with some Hellfire goodness.
Yeah, that's a good spell against chaff, really, isn't it?
And this is. What do I do? Oh, I think I
sacrificing.
Do some, I sacrifice to get some. Or maybe it's Grave Calls to get higher strength. I'm not sure.
It wouldn't be Wrath of God if Wrath of God was still on. Well, I suppose you can cast another one.
Wrath of God does come down though at the end. Kills an ogre, and that's about it. I think maybe he does a few wounds to the mammoth actually as well. I've got a feeling. But
good.
Maybe like 2 or 3 actually.
Well, that's really good.
And then a couple of wounds to the blocks, but otherwise the Merc Vets get away with it. Over here, this isn't the kitty going back at me.
I was going to say, hang on, what?
Yeah, this is after his shooting. So I kill the kitty, turn to face, and his shooting does that much wounds. And
that's why the flayers were needed in the first place.
Yeah, really. I was a bit like, oh, okay, I might not actually have this flank, and I really need to have this flank. So that was a bit.
Because they'll get a stand and shoot if you charge that as well, wouldn't they?
Yeah, so I was a bit worried actually with what was going to go over here. They were rolling hot at this point, and I was like, well, they can't keep rolling hot, otherwise that is bad times for me. Well,
they can, by the way, just to
so with MV, I choose the furthest away that I can, but I think it's still only a 9 or a 10 to get in. Cause I'm
and you've
close.
got Envy, is it? Which is the one you've got?
That's what I said. With MV, I choose the longest one.
Those dice you put out might well be a prediction of what you're going to get, right?
Maybe, yeah.
You're rolling 4 dice.
Yeah, you are. So, luckily they come back at me and don't do too much. I also charge over here into his bruisers. Yep.
Okay. Wow.
Just you wanted to get in really as quick as possible so I can get him thinking.
Okay. Well, I suppose it is a 1-on-1 fight because like your
and again, I'm hoping to smite maybe and get some things off there. I get in with both, and I don't take any wounds against the bombardiers, so that's going to be really good.
That's a real result, yeah.
Yeah, and I just move off the hill on the left-hand side, coming right up with the warriors as much as possible. The heralds are just kind of hanging back, firing missiles at this point. I don't need to do too much there. Over here, I kill the bombardiers for 1 wound taken, and panic the other guys because he's moved his general. I think because he doesn't have the reroll. So they go flying, and actually, that's awesome for me really because they're really only leadership 7, so it's a bit of a 50-50 on whether they come back at all. As you can see, there I've chaffed his tribesmen so that they don't get involved in anything that I don't want them to at this point.
Yeah.
Over here, I do a number on his his bruisers. I get smite off to mean I'm wounded on 2, so I'm hitting and wounded on 2s, which just blows through everything really. And
take a few wins in return, but you're always going.
Yeah, I think it was 5 in the end, but like just to hit alone is halves the number of hits. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that and how that went. They're all, because the Lord is in there, they're all agility 0. So I know that I'm at least going to get another turn around, another turn fighting before as well. And I put Guiding Light on them just in case something crazy happens.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the Frost Mammoth so close to the Bruisers as opposed to the Tribesmen, actually. Because Bruisers wouldn't benefit from a Frost Mammoth, the agility thing. But yeah, at the end of the day, they're still bruisers and they can still hit you hard. If
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, there's that. They charge in there because why not?
Yeah.
And get in, obvs. And kill, obvs. He has put a spell on. Its majority is -1 to wound, because he's got that on the pyro and he's got that on his hereditary as well.
Yeah.
So that's generally speaking what he's doing. So that's after the dog combat. After over here, we kill a few each, but nothing else is too major. And he's moved up this way. I was obviously off the hill, so I've now. This is going into my turn. I've now moved in onto the hill, into his flank.
I imagine you were hoping he would do exactly that, right?
Yes.
So that you could move up.
Yeah, absolutely. I go in with both the Chosen Knight and the Warriors over here into the Tribesmen, hoping to break them, and because of the Chosen Knight, get an overrun this way. Come in this way. So that's really why he was in there. He could have fled off the Bombardiers, but I just wanted this more, I think.
That's a good situation for you as well with those Warriors, because you Great Weapon Wrath.
Great Weapon Wrath, yeah. So I should be going first.
So even if the Frost Mammoth is in range, and I'm not sure he is, you're still attacking first. So
potentially, yeah. The Herald comes over here and just to basically face. I'm very confident I'm going to kill the Tribesmen, so or at least break them. So I'm facing that way, facing the Bombardiers in the corner.
Did they rally?
I don't think they did, but I'm just there to make them. I want to try and make them half points, at least, just in case they do, because I've got a couple of turns of doing it. I get grave calls with rerolls to hit. Rerolls to wound by discarding a bell token, and I put it on the higher one, so take a few wounds elsewhere. But otherwise, happy days. 4 wounds off on the Frost Mammoth. Which was pretty amazing.
That's a real result. Yeah.
So I was wounded on 4s. I think I rolled like 10 as well, and then re-rolled, and then he got, just obliterated there.
Yeah,
which is really nice.
Definitely. I mean, whenever you allow or cannot dispel a 2d6 spell, you're always just hoping they just don't roll any hits.
Yeah, that's it.
So sometimes they do.
That was the only spell though, but otherwise this is what happens. I do the. I actually do this one first, I think. I'm not sure. But I do a bunch of wounds in both combats. And this is what happens. I overrun over to this position. I'm actually half chaffing the Merc Vet, so if they charge, they can't charge the Warriors. They can only overrun into them on a second round of combat. So my Warriors are pretty safe where they are. As you can see, the guys, the Tribesmen fled and got away
all the way through.
Got away from my Envy Knight as well.
Not for long though, unfortunately.
But no, it won't be for too long. And I've got the Herald there as well to help out with some things. So overall, I'm in a pretty good spot.
Absolutely.
And this is at the end of my turn on going on to his. He rallies over here. So I think he's. I think he's on full wounds. I don't get any spells off because obviously I've got it over the other side. But yeah, big gutted that he rallied, but hey, what are you going to do? He also rallies here as well because he's not quite at half points, at quarter, I don't think. But either way, he rallies and basically turns to face like that.
Yep.
He also turns to face with his Merc Vets, which is interesting because I'm going to be fighting this on his turn. And I've also got the Herald and the
a lot of charges
Chosen Knights as well. I mean, the Merc Vets, basically, if you don't kill him, will kill you.
Yes.
We'll see how we go. So moving on to this combat, I think he gets only -1 to wound, which with Strength 6 over here isn't too great. I managed to win combat, run him down, and end up here where I am. I think he kills my Chosen Knight though, so there's a bit of points from his point of view. But it is my turn next, and that's not a bad position for Warriors to be in.
Not at all. No.
So I I charge with both. Not the Herald. I don't want to risk him just yet. But I charge with both and see what I can do.
Are you charging the warriors into the tribesmen?
So I did. I had to, but he fled.
Right. So then you redirected into the merclets. Yeah.
We redirect into there. There's Ross munching away.
Absolutely. I mean, you know.
This is after the combat and movement. So my chosen knight just comes up just to basically. I think he failed charged as well.
Okay.
Because they fled. It might have been that I actually charged them and then charged him, and he fled from both.
Yeah.
Or from the second one. But my Herald comes over here to hopefully have a few pot shots, and breath weapon, and my other one's over here to grave calls as well.
Oh.
So
yeah.
Heralds are just firing.
And hopefully those bombardiers don't get rolling so hot.
Well, this is it. Well, I'm hard target and cover. So if they're not accurate, are they? So it'll be long range. Yeah, they are quick to fire, but it'll be long range. So they'll be hitting on 7s. So I'm like, you know what? If they get me, they deserve it. They just deserve it. Over here, it was a bit of a one-sided affair with them.
There's a number on you though.
Yeah, between all of the combats, the warriors have taken quite a lot. But luckily, I break them, and my chosen knights, because he put as much as he could into the warriors. My chosen knights were pretty scot-free, and Envy ran them down, which was really nice to see. My warriors just restrain and turn here, so that I've got the Herald and the warriors going in potentially, and we go on to his turn, and he does rally, and he's got magic and stuff like that. But I charge in, and I charge in with the chosen knight that's facing them as well behind us. And get in with all of them. Luckily for me, that was a flank as well, so it just compounded the misery, I guess, from that point of view.
Yeah, no, I don't expect that any of them will survive before they attack.
Yeah. To make matters worse, I get grave calls off on the bombardiers, and they flee again because I do enough wounds to cause a panic.
They probably turned around. Right, we rallied, boys. Let's go back and help the rest of our army. Where's the rest of our army?
Yeah. Oh god, they've gone. Right, run, boys.
Yeah, so fair enough.
And I do end up getting the going back. I do end up winning this combat pretty outright and mopping up. So that leads us to the end of the game, and a big win, a 20-0.
Excellent. I was going to say, because I mean, both your Exalted Heralds are on the board untouched, aren't they? So
yes,
you get the objective as well there. And, very nice.
Yeah, and it was a really big win. Basically, I didn't think it did too much bad, actually, from perhaps a couple of the turning arounds to face on my left. But
yeah, the ones that you forced.
Yeah,
it gave you a chance to continue pressing on all sides. Didn't it, really?
But certainly I got a bit lucky with the Chosen Knights and against the Bombardiers, 1-on-1 or 1-on-2, I guess, panicking them off at that point once they broke combat. And
because I mean, if the Bombardier unit of 5 doesn't flee from panic, then it shoots your Chosen Knight off the board.
Yeah,
and he gets your points, and you get no points for the Bombardiers.
For them, so yeah.
And then potentially you don't have all those flank charges. And stuff.
Yeah, definitely. It massively helped me not have to think about them really, and then just move on from there at that point. And I was able with the warriors to get round and really do a number on him, and that was It was a hard fought one, actually. The 20, I said to him at the time, actually, the 20-0 didn't really cover the game. I know that in terms of the end result but there was a lot of hard fought little wins. The crossbows killing my flayers at the start as well. There was a few surprises for me, and then I say with getting the Chosen Knights down to half, with me still to charge in was a bit worrying as well. But Heralds did really well, I think, from a far in point of view.
Absolutely, grave call to kill a frost mammoth, and Wrath of God, just that's a good effort, really, because they didn't have a lot of targets once you were all up in the combats.
Yeah.
So killing the big beast was pretty good as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, really happy with that. Good game, Ross, as well. We'll have to have another rematch soon. And
which on 26 points for the tournament so far.
26 points, yeah. So above average at the minute, and hoping to
where you want to be
to press on and keep that going, really.
Yeah, definitely. No, good game. Well played. Give some comments on that one. Do you think that once Lucky Sixes had launched his attack in turn 1, it was kind of difficult for Ross to get out of that one, as the head in hands potentially showed. But then
at that point, it definitely wasn't over.
No, of course not. But at the same time, you were literally launching your attack exactly how you want to be attacking.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good move, opening gambit. Sweet. So we'll roll into round 2 Art of War for myself next. I'm on 12 points going into round 2, so looking to keep up the decent form.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see how we go from there. Look forward to it already.
Yeah, absolutely. In the meantime, as always, like, share, subscribe, and all that jazz. Do check out our Patreon, especially if you're into the Mega Battle that we're going to be having, Mega Battle number 300.
Yes, we are.
Let us know. Get involved on there if you want to be a part of it. We're opening it up to Patreon to pick a side and do some deployments and stuff like that.
This side.
I think
this side.
We're half and half at the minute, aren't we?
Oh no! I've got one advantage. Tommy's joined the righteous side, and I've got one advantage at the moment. Okay. Clearly, people are seeing that I am the right side.
Absolutely.
So against those evil elves.
So if you want to right that wrong, go on Patreon and and sign up. But yeah, otherwise all the other means.
Sell your soul.
Yeah. Should be good fun, and we'll roll on with the battles.
Yeah, sweet. Looking forward to a lot of things going on at the minute. Great. We'll see you in round 2 for my battle.
See you later.